Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today, in honor of Pride Month, I would like to share my coming out story with you guys. This is, it's time. So if you guys don't know who I am, my name is Romina. You can follow me on Instagram at RominaAfroLatina if you would like to get to know a little bit more about me. I am from Brooklyn. I am 30 years old, and basically I wanted to create this channel as a space where people can just talk about things that are real. I think in the climate that we live in, we are always trying to be something we're not, or there are like a lot of images coming at us constantly telling us who we need to be. So I just want to create a space where people can just be themselves, and I hope that you guys can find that here. So coming out, yes, I came out when I was like 15, 16. I am Afro-Guatemalan, so both of my parents are from Guatemala. And honestly, like, for the years leading up to my coming out, so I knew I was gay when I was 11. Like, I knew I was different. I didn't know if gay was the word that I could call it, but I knew I was different, and I knew that there were things about me that weren't like everyone else. And I grew up Catholic, so already, like, I just feel like there were a lot of elements. Like, I'm black, I'm Afro Latinx, Latinx people. The conversation surrounding sexual orientation or homosexuality, or even as a black woman, like, these conversations are not really had in our community. I'm first generation American, so there were just like a lot of elements that in my mind complicated coming out, or made coming out complicated. And I didn't know how to say it, like, I just didn't know how to say it. So for a lot of years, I self-mutilated. I had an eating disorder. There were just a lot of, because I was dealing with a lot of feelings of repression, I was self-mutilating to kind of like gain control of my life in some way. So growing up, I was like super involved in my church. Like, church was like a thing that we did 24/7. Like, I went to private school, which was a Catholic church. I was an altar server. I was a communion teacher. So I pretty much was like really involved in my church, and I just never felt like there was a time that I could say that I was gay. There weren't gay spaces in my church, so I just didn't even know how to approach the conversation. And so I basically went to private school up until I was 14. So when I started high school, I went to public school for the very first time ever, like in my entire life. That was my first experience with the public school system. Lucky for me, I went to a performing arts school, which completely opened my eyes to me, like who I am, what I want, what I like, like just being open and self-expressive. And there were, it was a lot of struggle. And also, at the time I was really dealing with mental health issues, that also, like, I guess you could say stemmed from, not being able to live in my truth. And, after like years of like spending time with myself and, going to doctors, I realized that a lot of my depression stems from my endometriosis, which is a conversation for another time. But yeah, like, so I came out, after starting performing arts high school. Like, that was the first time that I ever saw gay people like that were open and out and that looked like me. There were a lot of queer people that were black that I'd never been around, like queer people that were black. That was like my first time ever. And that was the first time that I felt like, okay, you know, this is okay. Like, there are other people like me in the world. It's not the end of the world. We gonna make it. It's alright. And that was like the first time that I felt comfortable, you know, like being myself and just, you know, being accepted. So in high school, that's when I came out. And, you know, after being around those types of people, you know, who are just very comfortable being themselves, I felt comfortable being myself and finally just saying to my parents, like, at this point, I told everybody else, like my church community, my like really close friends from school, like everyone, when I was like 15, 16, that's when I was really like, yo, I'm gay, I'm a lesbian, like I like girls. If you want to be my friend, cool. If you don't, suck my dick, I don't really care. Like it was just like a very like cut and dry situation. And of course you lose friends, you know, it is what it is. Like, I don't give a fuck. So I didn't feel no way, you know. And so when I was 17, that's when I told my parents. That was super, super scary. Like, because at the time, so you guys have to understand that within our community, also in the time that I grew up, you know, social media, the internet, those things didn't really exist. So, you know, being yourself was a lot more scary back then. And it was even scarier before then. So, you know, I didn't really have like reference. And thank God that my best friend, my brother, you know, he, like, his mom is a lesbian, and like she like took me right in. So she, you know, she just like helped me with everything, like safer sex materials. You know, the conversation when you're in high school surrounding sex has a lot to do with like heterosexual sex, and I didn't give a fuck about that because literally I've never fucked a man or have had the interest of fucking men. So it was very it was like pointless to me. So I started to seek out other tools, and you know, that's when the internet really started becoming a thing. Like the internet started becoming a thing when I was in high school-ish, around that time. That's when, like, you know, Skynex was a thing that was, people were doing, MySpace, you know, like that was, MySpace was like the first Facebook. You know, Skynex was like the first Facebook. The internet helped me find the tools to find a community where I could be myself. And you know, shout out to New York for having organizations like The Door for, you know, young people of color or young queer teenagers. It's really, really important to find your spaces so that you don't feel isolated. Lucky for you guys, you know, the internet exists and you can connect with people that can help you. But yeah, sorry, I got sidetracked. But yeah, so I told my parents when I was 17, I was super, super scared. Because I knew people that were getting put out by their family members, and I was afraid that that was gonna be my story, and I couldn't like handle that, honestly, at the time, with all the other things that, you know, I was dealing with. So, you know, when I told them, my parents had a super like surprising reaction. My mom is like a really open-minded person, and she's very sweet and she's very kind to everyone. Like both of my parents are, but you know, I just really, really connected with my mom at that time. You know, like she's my mom. So that's, you know, I'm telling them, and like my dad is like, okay, like he didn't really have anything to say. Like my dad is like super stoic, so he's just like, okay, you know, whatever, like I love you no matter what. My mom's reaction was a little bit different. She was just like, it's okay, like we love you no matter what. And like my parents are like super Latino, so they have like a very heavy like accent. And you know, she's like, it's okay, like it's a phase. I know that, you know, you young people, we're in a different time now, like we experiment differently. Which to me, honestly, at the time I felt a little bit offended by her response, because it's like, sis, do you know how long I've been agonizing over telling you this? Like I knew since I was 11, I'm telling you when I'm 17. Like that's a long periodically time, like for real. So at the time I was like slightly offended by her response, but you know, in hindsight, I actually really appreciate it because it could have gone a completely different way, you know? Like I really appreciate that she was like, you know, times are different now, like people get to explore who they are, like, you know, like it's people just get to be, and that's okay, and it's okay to, you know, try different things to figure out who you are. So that was actually super shocking. Like, I was surprised that I wasn't homeless by the end of, you know, telling my parents that I was gay. And it is a very scary thing, and I don't recommend it if you feel like you are in an unsafe space, or if you are in a place where you don't have support. So like, it took me a long time to tell my parents that I was gay because I was afraid that I was gonna be homeless. You know, do I wish I'd done it sooner? Absolutely. Because it would have saved a lot of turmoil in my life. Like, again, like, you know, I dealt with a lot of repressed feelings and a lot of shame, you know, as a result of my sexual orientation. Like, the amount of shame that I felt, it was just crazy. Like, I was so ashamed of being gay that I felt like it was better for me to kill myself. Like, that is how much I stressed and like agonized over this in my head, that I'm like, you know, I had so many, you know, suicide attempts, like so many failed suicide attempts, and I'm so happy that they, you know, they failed. Like, I don't ever want you guys to think that you're not worth like living, you know. Like, life is definitely worth living. There are moments in life that will like throw you for a loop and will shock the fuck out of you, but I promise that it gets better. I know that's like such a cliche, and it's annoying to hear it, and I know that when you're like a teenager you can't see the future, but I promise you that if you hold on long enough, it will be totally fucking worth it. Like, I am 30 years old. I know myself. I have a loving partner. I have my own place. I'm self-employed. I'm out here grinding, like, you know, like, I'm an artist, I'm a creative, I'm a creator. And when I was 14, 15 years old, I would have never imagined that my life would be this amazing. Like, I know that everything looks so like beautiful and like neatly packaged on social media, and it really makes you think that like people don't have struggle. But I promise you, like, I have survived homelessness, domestic violence, girl, it's a long ass list. Like, you know, like, whatever you could think of, like, that's struggling and hard, you know, mental health issues. Like, I promise you, like, it really gets better. You don't stay in that place for too long. Just surround yourself by people that are supportive. Like, for me, you know, the moment that I tell somebody I'm gay and it's a problem, then I don't need to fuck with you. Like, I don't want people in my life that only want to deal with parts of me. Like, they want to compartmentalize like who I am, and like neatly package me and like use me when they need me, when, you know, in those moments. Like, nah, I'm good on that. I don't need no fake ass friends. I don't need no, like, you know, inconsistent friends. Like, you need real ass friends, you know, and they will come. If you put the energy out there, if you ask the universe for exactly what you want, it will happen. Like, intention is super, super powerful. But I just came on here to tell y'all, like, everybody's not gonna have that, you know, that great like coming out story. Everybody's not gonna get that reaction from their family members, but at least a weight is lifted, you know. And if your family doesn't have the reaction that you want, of course, you know, make sure that you are around people that can support you through whatever it is that you're going through. That's really important, having a support system, you know, support groups, local LGBT centers in your community. If you're an adult and you've aged out of participating, you know, in activities, volunteer your time. Like, if you've gone through traumatic life events, or if you are a queer person that wants to figure out ways to give back to the community, like, go help out queer kids. If we could like lend a helping hand to young LGBT youth, that would be like super amazing. So guys, thank you for tuning in and for hearing me pour my guts out about my coming out story. I hope that you find this inspirational. I hope it gives you the confidence to be authentically yourself. You know, love you guys. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. And if you guys have any questions about any of the topics that I touched on, if there's anything more that you would like to get to know about me, holla at your girl. Like, I am here and I am ready. As always, thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you guys later.